Well, good morning and welcome back to Cityline. It is great to be in your home on this Thursday. We are live every Thursday morning, and this morning, of course, is April 25th, and it is beautiful outside. We are getting the spring weather. In honor of that, we have a great hour ahead of us. Later on, we'll be talking with the folks from Emergency Food Network, and also we'll be talking with Tiana, who is a letter carrier, because May is Hunger Awareness Month, so we want to hear all about how you can help out in terms of being a part of the solution to end hunger here in Pierce County. Hilltop Artists is here, the people and the students who give us this beautiful glass on our set are here to talk about their spring sale coming up and also their BIOT exchange program. So you definitely want to stick around for that. And then Historic Home Tours is up. If you read the TNT, they had a beautiful article about the historic home tours. So we have three amazing people here to talk about that tour and walk us through what you need to know when you buy your ticket and go on that tour. And then with me right now are another three fabulous individuals who are here to talk about Historic Preservation Month. So please join me in welcoming Miss Diedre Patterson. You are an Historic Preservation Intern. You seems like so much more than that, if that wasn't enough, but welcome to Cityline, my dear. Good to have you on the show. You brought with you Mr. Christopher Staudinger from Pretty Gritty Tours. Good to have you back.
Pleasure to be back.
Last time I saw you, you were moving and grooving, and I follow you on Instagram and all the tours that you do, and you have just exploded in terms of the amount of tours that you are currently offering, so good on you.
Thank you very much. We're here to stay.
Yes, you are. And this beautiful woman, Miss Jessica Rose Smith. Hello. What a great name. You are a Fort Nisqually event assistant. And I always call Fort Nisqually the Williamsburg of the West Coast. So welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into this. I have questions right now for Diedre and then Chris and then Jessica. So Diedre, let's talk about this. For people who did not know that we have a Historic Preservation Month, because everything in Tacoma is historic to us, what is Historic Preservation Month?
Yeah, so in 1973, the National Trust for Historic Preservation established May as the month of historic preservation. And so essentially what Historic Preservation Month plans to do is engage local communities to learn more about and engage with their, communities, local historical sites and heritage. So it's just a really cool and fun, unique way to engage with your city in a different kind of way that we might not do normally.
I love that. And as you're talking, that phrase comes to mind of if you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Right.
So we have some really great history that all three of you know intimately. So these events help us remember that. So tell us about those events that are going to happen here in Tacoma.
Yeah, so we have a month-long calendar full of events that we've planned and also coordinated with our local partners that I'm really excited about. We're going to be starting the month off actually with a walking tour of Hilltop that is also going to lead into our city council meeting on that Tuesday, and which is also going to include our Historic Preservation Month proclamation. That's actually going to be headed up by Chris. We also are going to have a youth art event that's going to be family friendly, bring the kids out. We've got some really cool illustrations from a local artist from her coloring book, Color Me Saved. That's going to be at Honey at Alma Mater. Really excited about that.
I love that space.
Yeah, isn't that gorgeous?
It is.
We've also got bike tours. We're going to be running 2 weekends of escape rooms at Fort Nisqually.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, that's.
I love escape rooms.
We also have our yearly Historic Preservation Awards that are going to be taking place at Courthouse Square that we do every year to celebrate different organizations, people, landmarks, that we feel that the community feels are making some strides in historic preservation in the city. So we've got a whole lot of stuff for everyone to really get involved in.
Boy, you sure do. I love that. So let's talk about, there is a theme of the month of May called Broadening Horizons. What does that mean and what does it entail?
Yeah, so with this year's theme, we really wanted to highlight the fact that Tacoma has a really rich and diverse history, and we really wanted to celebrate that. And we also wanted to acknowledge, that Tacoma has had a really long and extensive immigrant, community history here. And, there's historical sites around town that have been founded by these cultural immigrant, communities that even still stand today, like Normanna Hall,
Yes.
the Slavonian Hall, the Tacoma Buddhist Temple. We also wanted to incorporate the Puyallup tribe this year. So for our Historic Preservation Awards, we actually have Professor Danica Miller. She is a professor at UW Tacoma in Native American Studies, and she's going to be doing a talk about the Bolt decision, which regarded fishing treaty rights for the Native American tribes here. And we're going to do a tour through Courthouse Square as well as a part of our award. So we just really wanted to take the theme of broadening horizons and make sure that we highlight the value and the rich, diverse history that Tacoma has, because it's really a city of many histories.
Yes, I am so impressed and so proud as I sit here because, gosh, I've lived in Tacoma now for 20 years. 20 years ago, we didn't have that. And that wasn't very long ago. So we have done some serious homework and really leaned in. And the wonderful poster that we just showed, who developed that?
So we worked with graphic design artist. His name is Sean Alexander, and he's also an illustrator. So he did our Historic Preservation Month t-shirts, our website, and all of our marketing materials. And he's really awesome. And if you take a look on our website on hpmonthtacoma.com, you can get a closer look at those graphics. Our poster image actually has different historical landmarks from Tacoma that each represent a different ethnic community in Tacoma.
I love that. So props to Sean, because that is really quite fabulous. So, Mr. Christopher, let's talk about there's a biking tour that is, I think, such a great idea, because you see things that you just don't see, obviously, walking or even in your car. So what sites will the bike tour be visiting?
So we're actually going through historic Browns Point. We decided for our biking tour we would choose the hilliest part of the county. So yeah, we're actually going to start up at Browns Point Elementary and then descend down to the historic lighthouse and then sort of to Browns Point Cafe. And there's a lot of history there, and we've specifically designed the bike tour so that it will be all downhill, except for a very small portion at the end.
I love that. So speaking of all downhill can be very deceiving, because it's like walking downhill. It still can be strenuous. So what level of biker should try this tour?
Again, we really wanted this to be accessible for all.
Yes.
So I would say, barring people who have never been on a bike before, anyone could do this bike tour.
That's very kind of you. I love that. So will there be lots of stops, or is it more of kind of a biking fitness theme?
I mean, yeah, this isn't Tour de France or anything.
Good.
This is, you get on the bike, you coast downhill for a little while, we stop, you get some stories and histories of the area, we coast a little more, another story,
Okay, good.
It's an easy pace.
Nice, very nice. So what do people need to bring?
A bike is going to be the most important thing there, and then some water to hydrate, and a helmet, because we're safety conscious.
Helmet, that would be good. And the lighthouse, that lighthouse, I mean, it's like somewhere in time lighthouse. They were on a couple of months ago talking about some of the new renovations there, and that lighthouse is just something that has to be seen in the gardens. It's really quite wonderful. So good on you for highlighting that, because Browns Point has got some interesting history itself.
It absolutely does. And people don't always get out that way. It feels so far across the bay.
And it's not. Let's
open that door.
So, Miss Jessica, what should people expect when they come and play Arrested?
Well, first of all, they should expect to have a ton of fun.
Yes.
So I've had the pleasure of being one of the moderators for the games, so I have never had a group leave unhappy. But the biggest thing you expect is that you're going to come. You're going to meet one of our interpreters who will be in period garb.
Yes.
And then you're going to be led to the Factor's House, which is where Arrested takes place. And the Factor's House is our historic landmark building. It was built in 1855, and you actually will get to play the game by candlelight. So that's also a little added really cool factor to it. And the whole game itself is based off of a historic event that actually happened at Fort Nisqually. It surrounds the arrest of John McLeod during the Puget Sound Wars, where he was arrested for aiding the enemy.
Oh.
And what you're going to do is you're basically going to be searching for clues that will help you solve puzzles, that will help you find the trade secret.
By candlelight.
By candlelight.
Oh my gosh. And so what ages would this be best for?
So we generally try and keep it about 12 and up.
Yep.
For the, playing the game, just because when you go to buy tickets, unless you buy the whole game, you are going to be mixed in there with other people, which is sometimes the best thing.
Isn't it though?
A lot of strangers working together, they do so well. But however, if you want to buy out the whole game, that's what you want to do, then you can have
for your whole family.
Have younger kids in there. Yeah, that's
so
totally fine.
Let's talk about the process for developing the escape rooms at Fort Nisqually in these last minute we have.
So basically, our games were developed by Labyrinth Escape Games, who come out of Portland, Oregon. And the owner of this company is Andrew Lind, and he actually was a volunteer at Fort Nisqually for many, many years. And so not only does he have this ability to make these games, but he has this insight into Fort Nisqually and its history and was able to blend the two together brilliantly.
Wow, that's kismet for him to know that fort so intimately and then design a game around it. Doesn't get any better than that.
For sure.
So what's the response been from the community to this kind of programming at Fort Nisqually?
It's been great. I mean, we've gotten whole new audiences in. The last 3 years, all of our Trapped games have sold out, and it's reached over 2,000 people.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Because Fort Nisqually is steeped in history, and sometimes bending that vehicle to get people understanding the history can be hit or miss, but leave it to Fort Nisqually to hit it out of the park. I want to say thank you to all three of you for caring so much about our history and being so young. It is impressive and it is inspiring, and I want to just encourage you to continue to find all the great things that we need to know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, after a little bit of musical chairs, we'll come back and guess who we have in the house? We have the three people who are here to talk about the Tacoma Historical Home Tour. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.